Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of Only Run Very Noob Plays Bravo. Today we're going up against Boltyn. Not exactly the biggest meta deck, but definitely got some new tools. Side out Zealous Belting, Sigil of Solace, and I believe Chokeslam. So we get to go first. We get a Spinal Crush, but unfortunately we do not get to dominate it here. So I think I just make a Surge and Arsenal the Pummel. Looking to pummel the Command and Conquer on this turn. Hopefully because they don't have Soul. They don't really have a big turn here. With the Starstruck as well as my fourth card that I'd get to keep after I Command and Conquer and pummel. I sort of don't want to block at all. I'd kind of like that in Arsenal. No non-attacks in my hand, so I can't like straight up stop their go again, although we do see a take flight here, so they were going to get go again no matter what. They get a Quicken, which is interesting. If there is a consideration to maybe not CNC pummeling this turn because their Raiden is going to have go again off the Quicken. But there's a good chance that the card they have behind isn't a card they want to like end a chain on. It's one that they would want in Arsenal, like all of the defense reactions. If it was Lumina Ascension, they probably would have just played it there. So yeah, he wastes the Quicken token, which is nice, and we keep the full hand. So yep, just make a Surge and pummel this Command and Conquer. Usually we get their Crown in spots like this. If we took 7 damage to hold 5 cards and we're only sending a Command and Conquer, pummel is like 100% face up here. It could almost be nothing else unless we just like had Sigil in the deck and wanted to play Sigil. Not too sure why he gives us Iron Song versus. I think having that block later is better than just being 2 life higher here. Could be like a newer player. That's one of the mistakes that's like most consistent with people that are new, is that they just kind of use armor when they don't have to. Games are long. They don't have to keep their life at 34 instead of 32. Well, this hand kind of also wants to make me not block. I just want to dominate a Starstruck and then Arsenal Crippling. I do have a non-attack action though, so maybe if I could stop their turn, I could just like block with the Terra Sunder and then just send a raw Crippling Crush. When I decide between Crippling Crush and Starstruck which one to send undominated, I generally send Crippling Crush because it requires a little bit more, and the on-hit effect isn't as devastating if they want to keep a good hand. Like Starstruck is an attack they just can't no block, where Crippling Crush is definitely an attack they could no block and just go down 2 cards in 11 life if they please. But you can't ignore Starstruck. If you ignore Starstruck, you literally just don't do anything. Yellow Battlefield Blitz, kind of an interesting one, but definitely like just kind of want to take this damage, especially with them not having an Arsenal and already using their Iron Song, what is that, versus their gloves. I just want to dominate a Starstruck here, I believe. Oh no, I go for Crippling. I don't know, they're both like fine, right? Like but when you have the option for either one, you definitely want to choose which one's better. Maybe I was afraid of him having a Soul Shield and a 1-block on the verses, which would stop the Starstruck and not the Crippling Crush. That's probably what I was thinking, is just play around everything. Again, he gives us an armor here. Don't know why. If you're watching and you are new, don't just give up armor for no reason. Like, not only does he lose that armor block, but he loses the versus activated ability too. And yeah, I don't want to block because I just get to dominate a Starstruck into Arsenal Starstruck, which is like rolling him. We're down quite a bit of life, like 8, but we have 9 armor block to his 1. So we're definitely feeling good about the way this game is going. Boltyn can actually be kind of a close matchup. I think it's Bravo favored, but it can get a little dicey, and if they draw very well and have like a ton of armor that they don't have to use, and they can use it to like protect Lumina Ascension turns, you can definitely lose the Boltyn. We play a ton of attacks, so it can be pretty tough sometimes to stop them from getting +1 on their attacks, and then also being able to give them go again, of course, because of the +1. Again, I don't think blocking with Pummel is that efficient. They just passed the turn, so we don't have to make the decision, but I think I still would have just taken damage anyway. So we're just going to make a Surge, dominate the Starstruck. If they didn't play anything, like, there's a very good chance they have a defense reaction to stop this. But that's not like the end of the world. Like, we didn't have to take any damage to threaten this. We just got to like throw it at them. So we draw our Pummel where we draw Command and Conquer after we Arsenal Pummel, which is always nice. He's not going to have an Arsenal, but I still just kind of like Fate Foreseeing 4, taking 3, and pummeling the Command and Conquer. I topped the blue non-attack action just in case. If you've been watching my videos, you see I bottom basically everything that's not like a huge threat. But against Boltyn, I kind of want to be able to block and make him use his Snapdragon Scalers or end his turn. Whenever someone throws a Command and Conquer at you and doesn't make a Surge, like, it's guaranteed a pummel because it means they have a red behind in a pummel. So we finally catch up on life, which is quite amazing considering we haven't blocked with armor at all. Armor against Boltyn is very, very, very strong because it allows you to block and not turn on his +1 ability. Draw kind of a poopy hand, and he has kind of a decent one here. I think I just want to block. Oh, I only block 6. I was thinking just block 8 and hammer for 4 to preserve our life total, but maybe we want to hammer for 6 since him being at 10. He just can't take hammers for 6 anymore. He could take 1, but then that's it. And hammer for 4, he could take 3 times. Hammer for 6, he could only take once before he has to do some stuff, or two times before he dies. And with all of our armor, we're okay like not arsenaling an unmovable, which isn't that efficient against him. We also don't really want to arsenal arouse because we don't need a turn that big. We can just sort of outvalue them now. And once they have to start blocking hammer for 4, it's no good for them. We see him just throw an Illuminate, which is interesting. It's 100% has to be Snapdragon Scalers here. I'm not too sure what cards they could have behind to where this is like what they want to be doing. Maybe they are new, and a lot of times new players think when a card goes to Soul, that means you charged, but that is not the case. The only thing that charges is a card that has the keyword charge on it. So sometimes people, like in Monarch Draft, they'll crack their Halo and then like think they get the charge bonuses, but that is not how it works. And even so, we have the sink below. Sinking the 2-block attack. He beacons us, but because he didn't charge, he doesn't really get to do anything. And I think he notices his mistake here. Because if I remember correctly, he just like kind of sits here for a long time. Yeah. Sits there for a long time, wondering what the heck's going on, and then goes, whoops. He even plays a Lumina, which gives the weapon +1, but he doesn't get to attack him multiple times. And because he didn't charge, his weapon's only going to be for 1, so we just give boots. He could give it go again if he wants, since 1 is higher than 0. But I think he had different plans for this hand, and it just didn't work out because they must not know what charge. That charge and going to soul isn't the same thing. We just make a surge and send 8. And I'm sure you guys can see where this is going. This game is definitely in our hands. So I just want to talk a little bit about why I chose to show you this video. Number one, I don't have that many games recorded. I had a busy weekend and a very busy Monday, so I couldn't even wake up this morning and like get some footage. I had to go somewhere and do something for my future job. But out of all the videos I had, this one does show a very important thing for new players to learn, which is how to use armor efficiently. So if you noticed, our opponent just didn't use armor efficiently. They used armor almost for nothing, and armor is incredibly valuable. In every matchup, it's incredibly valuable, but especially so against Bravo. It allows you to stop dominate. It allows you to, basically stop dominate and stop crush effects, which is a huge portion of Bravo's value. If Bravo isn't crushing you, his cards are actually kind of bad. Like Crippling Crush, 4 card 11 is not good. That's less than 3 a card. 3 card Spinal for 9 is not good. So really the value comes from making decks that don't really want to block, and just to deal with the crush effect, because the crush effect of Crippling Crush, discarding 2 cards, all of a sudden it goes from 11 value up to 17. And because it's random discard, it can even be like, it's hard to quantify, but it is more value because they might just like discard their blue and their 0 cost, and then they're stuck with like a Take Flight and a red, and they're just like, oh, this hand sucks. Same with Spinal Crush. Spinal Crush is worth as much damage as your opponent was going to do with all of their action points through Go Again, or what? Yeah, basically just through Go Again. If they can generate action points, Spinal Crush doesn't do anything. But 3 card 9's not good. If 3 card 9 was good, every card in this game would be good. Like Brutal Assault, 2 card 6, that would be good. But we all know it's not. And also on the flip side, you saw me take a whole bunch of damage. You saw me go down like 8 life because, well, I could block with my armor, but I don't need to. I could save it until later. I even had good hands that I wanted to protect, but I didn't really need to protect my life total. I could use it as a resource. So hopefully this was like a little showcase, not of like a competitive game, but maybe of like the downfalls of using armor improperly and the boons of using your life as a resource. So I hope everyone learned a little bit today. I always do. And it was fun. Comment, like, subscribe down below. And tune in tomorrow. I'll be bringing you another video.